The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
The economy is booming. That's the good news. Retail sales surging, jobless claims plunging, good profit reports from the banks, manufacturing production out of sight. We're in a big recovery. Why do we need more stimulus? The economy is booming.
You need more stimulus because the economy needs life support. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. Now, the latest rally, if you know how to play what they call momentum, you can make a lot of money. In fact, they'll be playing momentum every time they do another stimulus. We could be doing momentum for another 3, 4, 5 months. The more stimulus they do, you have a great opportunity to make money. But the key is when you're going to get out. You got to have an exit strategy. You got to know when to get out. And 85% of people lose money because they don't know when to get out. The one thing that Kudlow, that's probably one of the most honest things he ever said. Really, when he's saying, wait a minute, how come we're having another stimulus if things are so wonderful? Well, first of all, let's understand this. All rallies and crashes are man-made. That's right. By our owners, the very wealthy. That's how they make money. You think it just happened? That we had a dot-com bubble, a housing bubble, and now the QE bubble? They create the bubbles, then they pop the bubbles, and make money on the way up and the way down. That's how they keep the activity going in the market. It's unbelievable. But he's right. He asked a great question. If the economy is booming, then why do we need more stimulus? I'd ask another question. How can Biden be growing the economy to a 10% GDP when since 2005, not even G.W. Bush, Obama, or Trump administration could grow the economy to 3%? At best, they're at 2.8%. 2.8%. And if you average from 2009 to 2021, we're at 1.6% GDP. Oh, but they're going to go to 10%. It's unbelievable. Well, how can they get to 10%? Biden's going to be now the only president in the world that's ever grew the economy 10%? No, it won't last. As I said, all market crashes, all rallies are man-made. And this 10% GDP growth, you're coming from such a low. Of course, you can have a 10% GDP growth. Like I hear him talking about, wow, look at the business out there. Restaurants are booming. Everything's booming. But wait a minute. These poor restaurants, for almost a year, as I said the other day, if they were doing $10,000 a night and dropped down to $500 a night, and now they're back in business and they go from 500 back up to 10,000, what are they going to say? That's a 600% gain? Wow. No, it's not a 600% gain. They're just getting back even. In fact, they're not even going to get back even because you never make up the money you lost. Nobody ever makes up the money they lost. When you lose money, you lost it. You don't make it up. It's gone. How can we be growing at 10%? In the past 100 years, each time the economic GDP growth, the GDP has grown. Remember this, it's been through what? Through cutting taxes, reduction of regulations, cutting regulations. Cutting debt is huge. So every growth in our economy, every time our economy grew, it was always by cutting taxes, cutting regulations, cutting debt was the big thing. Business investment was huge because you have to increase productivity, which increases jobs, which increases wages, which increases spending. And spending contributes 72% toward our economic GDP growth. But yet, Biden is not going to cut taxes. He's going to raise them. He's also not going to cut regulations. What are you, nuts? He's going to increase them. If you remember, Biden, Obama, they added 20,642 new regulations. That's right. When Obama and that administration, they didn't cut regulations. They increased them. Note that was costing small businesses just small business, $890 billion over 8 years. This is unbelievable. If what Biden did with Obama is any indication of what he's going to do now, get ready. Put your seatbelt on, because you're going to see more regulations. They doubled the national debt together from $6.3 trillion to $14.4 trillion. What are you, nuts? All these liberals and all these Democrats who voted for Biden is going to have buyer's remorse. Where do they start? With the tax increase. Oh, they're not going to bother me. Oh, yes, it is. Because remember, every large corporation, when they get a tax hike, they don't pay for it. The shareholder pays for it. The employee pays for it. They start cutting. And the biggest thing they cut is labor. Hours worked. It's unbelievable. And every time, think about this. When spending, and you hear Kudlow go, look at the spending. People are eating. People are doing this. They're going on boats. They're going cruises. They're going crazy. Wait a minute. When the spending comes from borrowing, i.e. debt, when you're growing the economy that way, it's not sustainable because you got to pay it back. But if you're growing the economy and the spending is coming from increased productivity, increased wages, savings, that's where your spending's coming from, it's sustainable. Just look back to the dot-com and the housing con. Look at those. They didn't end pretty, did they? Why? Because they grew the same way we're growing now. Debt. All debt. So anyone who thinks and keeps hearing how we're going to get this big 10% growth and the economy is gaining momentum.
I think it's very clear looking at the latest slew of economic figures that the economy is gaining momentum.
Yeah, but where's the momentum coming from? Not from productivity, not from CEOs taking the money they borrow and plowing it back into their company for new machinery and equipment so that you, the worker, can increase the amount of picnic tables or hats or whatever you manufacture. That's not what's going on here. They're not giving money for business investment. They're shifting that money away from their own company to stock buybacks. We just heard yesterday, Powell told the banks, start going out, do stock buybacks. Why? Because they're all in trouble. Take a look at the banking stocks today. Be right back after this break. Join my gang. Help St. Jude.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Graney, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month, philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. Warning: Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60, 70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days, philsgang.com. When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grandy. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. For the best insight in both the stock market and the economy, turn to the Phil's Gang YouTube channel, where each weekday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you get to listen to my Phil's Gang radio show, where you get the best information both on stocks and the economy. And each Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, you get the new segment of my popular Market Crash Unfolding, where I detail the weekly events that are leading us up to the next crash. Both Phil's Gang radio show and Market Crash Unfolding on Phil's Gang YouTube channel. And I hope you're listening to my YouTube channel. And remember, we will be posting tonight at 6:30 my segment, The Unfolding of the Stock Market Crash, where every week I review the stock market. I identify for you why the fake business news networks are just full of nonsense, full of crap, not telling you the truth. And they are building this bubble. Remember, every bubble is man-made because every crash is man-made. All you have to know is when to get out of that bubble. And it's so difficult for people because they have to depend on the fake business news network. They have to depend on their brokers, their planners. They don't want you out. They always want you in the market. They make money when you're in. They don't make money when you sell short the market. So they scare you to death. Oh, don't short the market. Don't short the market. Oh, you'll die. You'll die. Your arms and your legs and your head will fall off. No, don't short the market. They never want you out of the market. Do you ever notice when you call your planner or whatever, you're trying to get out of stock, they talk you into going to another stock? Ridiculous. Look, you got to be looking for those stocks that nobody wants. That's right. Take, for example, gold stocks. If you go back and take a look at the gold stocks, okay, in March of last year, they were at $13.24 gold, and it rallied up to $31. That's a pretty nice gain. We had 125% gain. Okay, it gave it back, but guess what? You didn't have to give it back. You didn't. If you're a gang member, the chart, our color-coded chart, would have told you the institutions are taking their money out of gold. And then it turns red. First it turns yellow and warns you. Then it turns red, in which you then sell short. So easy. If you can push a button, if you can turn off a light switch, you certainly can sell a stock short. If it turns red and it's at $30.31, just push the button, sell. 30.31. Then when it turns green again, as it has at $19.55, click buy again. Kids can do it for you. So we had 125% gain, and then it corrected from $30. It went down to $20. Now, that's a 33% correction, but it went up 125%, but nobody talks about that. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. Wait a minute. 125%, and it corrected about 25%, say 30%. So what? If you know what you're doing, you made that 25% correction in your pocket by selling short, because you would have been warned early enough that there was a rotation. Stocks rotate. The problem is you don't have someone telling you when the rotation is occurring. You don't have anybody to tell you, hey, it's rotating. It's going from long to short. And you got to be in that rotation. That's why if you read any of Buffett's book or Peter Lynch's books, they tell you to stay with 5 stocks, no more than 5 stocks. Now, they got to be brand names. Like our stocks, for our members, they're all brand names. They're in everybody's 401k. Every hedge fund has them. Every large institution has them, banks, insurance companies. They have our stocks. And all you got to do is follow the money in and out. Don't listen to the noise, the nonsense, because this market, just like 2008, was created. It's a bubble. And they're creating the biggest bubble ever now. And you could have enjoyed it and made that kind of money. But no, they got you into bonds after the market crashed in 2008. How many of you been in the Treasury? You got killed. Now all of a sudden you're getting out of treasuries and bonds, and now you're buying stocks. When the market crash could come any day now. Oh, if you don't think it's going to happen, what are you, nuts? We think, oh, I see. In 2001, 2008, those are all mistakes. What are you, nuts? Now, we got some great opportunities with stocks. That's right. But you got to take the stocks now that we have. They're called momentum stocks. Good momentum stocks. And that's what we're doing now. We're playing the momentum stocks. Now, those people who don't understand, okay, what a momentum stock is, those are the stocks that you hear about all the time, like Facebook and Netflix and Amazon and Google and Microsoft and Apple. Everybody buys these stocks, Zoom, Gold, Walmart, Lowe's, Target, the same old stocks. Everybody jumps into those stocks. And the problem is they follow them all the way back down because they don't know when to exit them. Tesla, for example. Did you know when to exit them? No. If you were with us, you would have got into Tesla after the last time it turned red at $430, and then it ran up to about $880. And then we started to sell short at about $810. And it dropped from $810 down to a low of about $560. We had about a 25% return. Now, I'm not saying every gang member made that kind of return, a 27% return, I think it was. Not saying that. It turned red. Every gang member had the opportunity to make that kind of return if they decided to sell short when it turned red, just like if they decided to buy it at $434 when it was green, and they got out, let's say, at $827 before it turned red. That's a 90% return. Even if you picked up 20%, 8% of it, so what? If you do that every month, you just got to know if it's green, you get in. If it's red, you get out and sell short. If it's turning yellow, it's a warning. I'll be right back after this break with more. Join my gang, free, philsgang.com for 10 days, the chart and the membership.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
What are you, nuts? 85% of the people do not know how to get out of the market. They lose money because they don't know when to get out. I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. I solved that with my Pro 2 color-coded chart. It tells you when to get out. It tells you when to get in, tells you when to add, not to add. Specifically, when do I get out? It tells you that. Check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Get your 10-day free trial of my Pro 2 color-coded chart and a membership.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grandy. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
The unfolding of a market crash. If you don't think the stock market's going to crash, then you got to be nuts. This is going to be one of the biggest crashes ever. Just because they're stimulating the economy, they're plugging money in, keep driving up the debt. No, the market is going to crash. I bring you evidence every Friday on my YouTube channel. I review the week and tell you why we're getting closer to crash, so don't miss it. It's free for everyone. Go to my YouTube channel, Phil's Gang YouTube channel, and join the gang at Phil's Gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You get the color-coded chart that tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. But even better, when to sell short. So when the market's going down, you're making money. Instead of getting on the phone trying to get a hold of your planner, your broker, what should I do? What should I do? With a click of a button, you're making money because you're selling short. So simple, so easy to do. It's amazing. You know, I'm sitting here telling you there's going to be a crash. Most people don't believe it. They say, well, yeah, but Phil, look at the market's going up every day. Well, it's man-made. It's a bubble. They haven't pulled the plug yet. So take advantage. You think myself and my gang just sitting here and watching the stocks go up, oh, there's going to be a crash, we're not buying stocks? Of course not. Because we have great confidence to get out. We know our exit strategy. Before you buy a stock, you always have an exit strategy. Give you an example. Take Bank of America. Bank of America is one of the stocks we trade along with Goldman Sachs and Wells Fargo. It turned red at $29.77. And that was back in January 28th. When it started to go up to $31, still red. 32, still red. Finally, it turned green at $32, or let's say $33. Turned green. Now you're going to say, yeah, but gee, you got it at 33. You should have got it at 29. No. Because if you got in anywhere between, let's say, 29 and 33, any morning you could have woke up and that stock would have been down 10, 15%. That's called risk on. But the chart identifies where that risk on is. You don't have any chart, none of you have a chart that identifies for you where the risk on is. So instead of buying anywhere between, let's say, $30 and $32, anytime you bought in that area, you were taking a huge risk. You could have lost 10, 15%. Why do that? Always invest when it's risk off. And this tells you when it's risk off because it identifies the institutions. The institutions weren't buying the bank, BAC, around $30. They weren't buying it at 30. They weren't buying it at 31, 32. They started to buy it at around $33, exactly when we decided to buy it. And then guess what? It got all the way up to $38. That's a nice 15% gain. But here's the beautiful thing. We started to take profits because it turned yellow. Now, what's that mean? Well, it's just warning you that some are taking money out. So just take some profits. Does your chart turn yellow? Of course not. Better not, because someone stole my charts. Now, so it stayed yellow for quite a while. It doesn't mean so when it was yellow at 36.83 and still yellow at 39.19, it's not that we don't add to our position. We know we add less to our position. It's yellow. And it's still yellow today. So we know not to have much of a position of that stock. Now, if it didn't turn yellow, we wouldn't know that. So instead of having maybe 100 shares, we would probably have 500 or 600 shares. That's called risk on. At least with the technology, the color-coded technology, you get the risk off and the risk on. It identifies for you. No other chart does that. If you don't believe it, here, I'll give you the chart for 10 days. Take a look at it. See if your chart. See if you can find a chart anywhere in this country that'll give you risk on and risk off through color-coded technology. They don't do it, do they? No, not at all. And stop listening, again, to all this nonsense. As I told you, yes, you can put $10 trillion, $20 trillion into a stock market and make the economy grow, but it's not going to last. And as I said to you, every stock, every bubble, every crash is man-made. Now, what does the coming crash have in common with the dot-com crash and a housing financial crash? All man-made. Without the Congress and the Federal Reserve intervention in 2008, the 8 largest U.S. banks would have gone bankrupt. Do you know the banks? Go take a look at them. They're doing terrible. They're reporting, and they're going, oh, wow, look how great the banks are. Wow, look what they did. Oh, wow. Really? Take a look at them on a chart today. Now, they would have gone bankrupt, and they should have gone bankrupt. That would have been a great thing. A great thing. We would have gotten rid of the bad players. Rid of the bad players who caused the crash. But no, instead, we rewarded them. We rewarded their bad behavior. We're still rewarding their bad behavior. We bailed them out. Who bailed them out? The taxpayer, Main Street. That's right. Now, by doing that, they prevented a 20% correction in economic growth. Now, think about that for a minute. They bailed them out. And that way, by bailing them out, they didn't get a 20% correction in economic GDP growth. The unemployment rate would have went down 10 if it would have gone up 10 to 15% if they weren't bailed out. The stock market would have contracted probably another 50% if they weren't bailed out. We would have had a recession if they weren't bailed out. And everybody goes, oh, thank God. Oh, no, they sold you on that. Do you remember they even came and they said to you, boy, if you don't bail us out, we're going to go into a depression. Remember that? Bernanke said that. Paulson came on TV and they lied to everybody. He said, boy, if you don't tell Congress, call your congressman, tell them you guys got to bail us out. Main Street's got to bail us out. or we're going to go into depression. All a lie. And what they do? They got bailed out, right? But placing them in a recession is what we should have done, because it serves a great purpose. It would have reset the overpriced stocks. Take a look at the price of stocks today since 2008. Are you nuts? The S&P has gone up 570%. That means stocks have gone up 570%. Some of the stocks we used to buy at $10, $12, $15 are $150. That's overpriced. You got to reset prices. But here's the worst thing. Nobody reset the debt. The debt keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. And what do they do with that debt? They don't grow the economy with the debt. They grow the stock market with the debt. And they tell you the stock market's the economy. Today, our economy is worse than ever. Why? We made it worse. Because we bailed out, our owners bailed out the banks. And in fact, what they did, they abandoned the free market system by doing that. So since 2009 to today, the S&P is up 518%. Are you nuts? All artificial, all done with borrowed money. Our debt has increased 211%. We've gone from 10 trillion to almost 30 trillion now. And you think that's good? And there's not going to be a crash? Now, that's fine. Because, again, we're still going to buy these stocks that are on momentum, because we know how to invest in momentum. We know how to do that. And we know we're going to be out of every stock before they correct or crash. I'm looking at Bank of America right now. It's turned yellow. Check your chart right now. See if your candlestick's turned yellow. No, they haven't. You probably added to Bank of America. You probably even bought Bank of America because you're listening to these dopes like Kudlow and the rest of them on the fake financial networks. But yet, remember, think about this. The market went up 518%, but they're saying inflation is less than 2%. How could a stock market, for God's sakes, go up 518% and they tell us with a straight face inflation is less than 2%? What are you, nuts? Insane. But take an opportunity here and benefit from it. Make money from it. Not by listening to them. I'll explain when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Thinking about investing in the stock market? Go to philsgang.com, where we have over 50 years experience in trading and investing in the stock market. Phil's Gang teaches you how to make profits in the market with stock chart analysis, up-to-the-minute alerts, and always keeping you informed with professional guidance in long and short-term positions. Go to philsgang.com or call one of our professional staff to answer your questions. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Stop wondering about your financial future and start doing something about it.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable. African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Then go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, listen to this.
I think it's very clear looking at the latest slew of economic figures that the economy is gaining momentum, that the recovery is accelerating at a faster than expected pace.
This week, the small businesses talked about the economy, the outlook weakening, and capital spending plans slowing.
Oh, no. They never tell you the truth. We do every day. And you don't have to believe us here at Phil's Gang. Just believe the chart. It never lies. Take it for 10 days and use it. The color-coded chart. Never mind me. Use the chart. Never lies. It's always right. Your chart doesn't turn yellow. Doesn't warn you that money's going out. That the institution's pulling money out. And it doesn't turn red, does it? Where it tells you they've taken so much money out, you better exit your position. It gives you an exit strategy every time you're in a stock. You don't get that. And also for you poor souls that are in mutual funds, you really get screwed. Nobody helps you. There's no exit strategy at all for a mutual fund. In fact, when the market starts crashing, the day it starts crashing, you got to wait tonight to the evening to get out of your mutual fund. What are you, nuts? But we've done the same thing with that. We designed a chart that identifies for you when to get in, but more important, when to get out. You get alerted with emails. Tells you you got to take action. You've got a problem with your mutual fund. You're not just going to sit there the next time and take a big hit, are you? And then after you take a big hit, the next thing you fall for, the annuity. And you hear that everywhere. After market crashes, you hear the annuity. I love the annuities. I love the commercials. You only make money when it goes up. You never lose money when it goes down. What idiot believes that? What idiot believes that someone's going to offer you a deal that you never lose money when the market goes down, but you make all the money when the market goes up? You think that makes sense? Of course not. You know how many people buy annuities? Oh, my God. If I had a penny for everyone that bought an annuity, I'd be on my I'd have two yachts. I'd have one leg on one and one leg on the other. I'd have like a water ski. Are you kidding? But people love it. People love annuities because they really believe that they're never going to lose money again. Just like now. Everybody believes after this market has gone up. Think about it. This market has gone up 520% since 2008, 2009. Think about that. And the national debt has increased 211%. And why? Because that's how they push the market up. By printing money and getting it into the stock market, which they convinced you is the economy. Corporate debt is up 67%. National debt up 211%. And where did all that money go? To move the stock market up. So the 1/100th of 1% makes the money. They make the money. Do you know that they picked up in the last crash, they picked up 68% of the profits. 68%. The 10%, I think, picked up something like 27%. And you know what the poor 401ks made? I'm talking about the $22 trillion. I'm talking about March. I'm talking about from March to March 2020 to March 2021. The biggest interference in a free market. They came in and they printed money and they pushed money in and again they put in. I forgot how much money they threw into the market. It was and out of the money they put in the market, trillions of dollars. Right, the stock market shot up and gained $28 trillion in 1 year. I mean, from March to March, $22 trillion. $22 trillion. You know how that was split up? Again, the top 1/100th of 1% got 68% of the $22 trillion. The top 10 percentile got 27%. And the people on Main Street got 4%. And, by the way, just like in 2008, in the 1929 crash, guess who's going to pay for that? Guess who's going to bail everybody out? Main Street. That's right, Main Street. You want to talk about crooked. After the last crash in 2008, remember what they did? Congress got together with the owners. Those are 1/100th of 1% who control the stock market. They control the Federal Reserve, and they own the lawmakers. And they created a law that no more will a CEO be responsible for a bad decision. If a CEO of one of the big 10, let's say the 10 largest banks, one of the 10 largest banks make a huge mistake like they did in 2008, it used to be the CEO used to be responsible. Do you know that? And he'd have to file personal bankruptcy. So they made sure before they did these stupid things, they knew they were on the hook. So they would be very careful not to make any bad decisions. So in the 80s, I think it was 1980, right after 1987, they changed the law so that the CEOs of the biggest corporations, the biggest banks, who make the decisions, like, for example, in 2008, the crash, the housing crash, the CEOs didn't have to, they weren't liable for anything. It used to be they were liable for the losses of the banks. But after, I think it was 1987, they changed the law, Congress, because they own Congress, right? The richest people own Congress, where they said, look, we want to change the law. From now on, we want to be able to take crazy risk. And if we make bad decisions and things go bad, we're not on the hook personal anymore. I can't remember the guy's name, but I can't think of it. That's when all the banks, remember when all the banks went down? I can't think of his name. But anyways, but they changed the law. So now these CEOs, they don't have to worry anymore. They can just take wild shots. They can speculate all they want. And they get the upside if it wins. And if it doesn't win, if they lose, who pays the downside? You and me. We pay the downside. That's the law. It used to be the other way. The first time all the banks went down, And I think that was back in, I can't remember now, but it was, when all the banks went down, Lincoln Bank, that was one of the banks, Lincoln Bank. Maybe you could look up what year that was. But when all the banks got hit, remember, all the CEOs got nailed. And that's when they changed the law. For the CEOs of banks, CEOs of Wall Street companies, no longer would they take the hit. So this way, and that's why now, today, they're running national debt up like crazy. And they're pushing money into the stock market. They're running the stock market up. They don't care about the risk anymore because they benefit. They benefit. The top, as I said, the top 1/100th of 1% picked up 68% from the $22 trillion from March of 2020 to March 2001. It was 1989, I think. You're right. It was in the top 10 percentile picks up 27% of the $22 trillion, and the poor little guys on Main Street have a 401k before expenses. They ended up with nothing. They lost money, 4%. That's right. I think it was 1989, and I think it was Lincoln Bank. That's I can't think of the guy's name, but they changed the law. So that's why they create these bubbles now. That's why they create the dot-com bubble, the housing-com bubble, and that's why they're just creating the biggest bubble ever, the QE bubble we're in now. They would have never done that before 1989. Lincoln Savings, look up that. Lincoln Savings, who was the CEO of Lincoln Savings? I'm talking to my producer. Can't remember his name. Charles Keating, that's right. After Charles Keating and all those banks went down, matter of fact, I think it was, George G.W.'s brother was one of the ones who took a bank down. But they all lost money. They are on the hook themselves. No more. And that's why they're running the debt up, the national debt up. They could care less because they're going to get out of these stocks before anybody else does. But guess what? My gang will too. Because we created a chart. After being on this earth for 75 years, in this market for 51 years, we created a chart that tells us when they're getting out so we can get out. Don't believe it? Check it out for 10 days free. Join my gang, philsgang.com. See you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.